Love can be whispered in a glance, spoken in a touch, and declared in acts that go far deeper than any spoken words. While "I love you" is powerful when it finally passes someone's lips, there is something profoundly intimate about the unspoken language that connects two people on an emotional level. When a man truly cares for you, his affection often emerges in small, silent moments, details that might seem insignificant at first, but that carry the weight of genuine devotion. He doesn't need to announce his feelings with grand declarations. Instead, he invests in the subtle ways he can show up for you, protect you, and make you feel valued without ever articulating the phrase itself. Imagine him standing in the kitchen, preparing your favorite meal precisely as you like it, recalling that one throwaway comment you made weeks ago about craving a certain dish under stress. Or picture him seated beside you on a long car ride, simply holding your hand when he senses your anxiety, without demanding to know what's wrong. These acts may not come with a flourish or a spotlight, but they speak volumes. They say, "I'm paying attention. Your comfort matters to me. You're worth every small effort I make." In a world where so much communication is rushed or consumed by screens, these undistracted, genuine moments become the purest evidence of love. Every relationship has its rhythms and routines, but the man who silently loves you will turn those routines into opportunities to affirm his care. He will notice the shift in your mood before you voice it, showing that he's attuned not just to your words, but to the emotions beneath them. He will sacrifice his own comfort without hesitation, knowing that seeing you smile or easing your burden is more rewarding than satisfying his own immediate wants. He will include you in his future plans, bringing you into conversations about what we will become, rather than what I want to achieve. By respecting your boundaries and consistently showing up when it matters most, he makes a quiet promise. I am here, and I am yours. That promise, even when never uttered aloud, anchors you in a feeling of security that few words alone can provide. There is an almost magnetic quality to these silent signs of love. They create a bond that feels both tender and unbreakable. When he touches you gently, without expectation, it feels like he's saying, "I value your presence." When he shares his food without being asked, he's offering not just sustenance, but a piece of himself. These moments weave together to form a tapestry of genuine affection. Over time, you realize that the most profound "I love you" might actually be the one he never says at all, because it is already written in the way he remembers the smallest things you've shared, in how he listens without interrupting, and in how he protects and prioritizes you without drawing attention to himself. As you explore the list of 15 silent ways a man tells you he loves you, you'll recognize that each example is not a mere checklist, but a window into the soul of someone who cherishes you. These are the markers of deep emotional investment, the gestures that ultimately mean, "I see you, I understand you, and I am here for you." So let these words prepare you. Beyond the lip service of "I love you," watch closely for the unspoken promises, the acts of quiet devotion, and the heartfelt moments when love truly whispers rather than shouts. 1. He remembers the little things you say. When a man genuinely loves you, he doesn't always say it out loud, but his actions whisper it constantly. One of the most powerful ways he reveals those feelings is through how attentively he listens and remembers the little things you say. Not just the big conversations or serious topics, but the quiet details you may have forgotten you even mentioned, like how you once casually said you miss the smell of rain on old books, and months later, he brings you a candle that smells exactly like that, or the way he remembers your favorite snack from childhood, your coffee order, the song that reminds you of your late grandmother. It's not about gifts or grand gestures. It's about presence, deep, emotional presence. He'll bring up something you said in passing during a late-night talk, something you didn't think mattered, and he'll bring it up in the most unexpected but meaningful moment. It tells you one thing: he listens with intention. You're not background noise to him. You're important. You occupy his mind long after the conversation is over. Sometimes he'll prepare something small just because you once said it brings you comfort. A certain soup when you're sick, or a movie you loved as a teen when you're having a bad day. These aren't coincidences. They're signs of emotional investment. He isn't just hearing you, he's storing pieces of you inside him. When a man remembers the little things you say, it's not just about having a good memory. It's about care. It's about making you feel seen. In a world full of distractions, his attention becomes love. It shows that while he may not always have the perfect words, he's always holding on to yours, the soft, quiet, forgotten words, and turning them into actions that speak louder than any "I love you" ever could. 2. He listens without interrupting. When a man loves you, his silence isn't empty. It's filled with respect. He listens without interrupting, not because he has nothing to say, but because what you're saying matters more. In a world where people constantly talk over each other, trying to be heard, his quiet presence becomes rare and sacred. He doesn't rush you, correct you, or make it about him. He gives you space to unfold your thoughts, even the messy, confusing, emotional ones, because he understands that love isn't always about solving. Sometimes it's about simply being there while someone works through their storm. You'll notice it in small moments, when you're venting about your day, when you're sharing a dream that sounds crazy, or even when you're breaking down over something you can't explain. He waits. He stays. He doesn't jump in with advice unless you ask. He doesn't shift the focus to himself. He listens with his eyes, with his body, with his full attention. You feel it. He's not just waiting for his turn to speak. He's absorbing every word you say like it's something precious.
This kind of listening isn't passive. It's active, devoted. He notices what your voice sounds like when you're tired or when you're excited. He hears the pain you try to hide, the doubt behind your laugh, the hope in your silence. He doesn't dismiss it. He doesn't talk over it. He holds it gently, like something fragile and important. When a man listens without interrupting, it means he values not just your words, but your mind and heart behind them. It's a quiet love, but one that echoes loudly in your soul, because deep down you know. Someone who truly listens to you without interruption is someone who already holds space for you in his heart. 3. He protects you in small, subtle ways. Love isn't always loud. Sometimes it shows up quietly, in the way a man protects you without ever making a scene. He doesn't brag about it or make it obvious. He doesn't need to. His care slips in through the smallest doors, like walking on the traffic side of the sidewalk, or watching over you in a crowded place without saying a word. It's in the way he gently places his hand on your back when guiding you through a crowd, or how he waits for you to enter your home before driving off, even if you've already waved goodbye. These aren't grand acts. They're the kind of protection that comes naturally when someone's heart is tethered to yours. Sometimes he'll notice something before you do, a situation that feels off, a person who gives him a bad feeling. He won't control you, but he'll make sure you're aware. And even if you brush it off, he'll still quietly stay close. He'll offer his jacket without asking if you're cold. He'll remind you to drink water, to get rest, to take a break. Not because he doubts you, but because he worries, in that gentle way men do when they're deeply invested but not always verbal. He may not use the word protect, but it's there, in his instincts, his tone, his timing. When someone crosses a line with you, he'll be respectful but firm. If you're uncomfortable, his whole energy shifts. He becomes a quiet shield, not needing praise, just needing to know you're okay. And you'll feel it too, that unspoken safety. The sense that no matter how chaotic the world feels, when he's around, you can breathe easier. That's love. Not loud, not flashy, just steady, just present. A kind of love that guards you in the background, not for attention, but because your peace has become a part of his purpose. 4. He touches you gently and often. When a man truly loves you, his touch becomes something more than physical. It becomes emotional. He touches you gently and often, not out of habit or routine, but because he's drawn to you in a way he doesn't even fully understand. It's instinctive, subtle, meaningful. He'll brush a strand of hair from your face, rest his hand on your lower back while you're walking, or let his fingers linger just a little longer when handing you something.
These touches aren't about desire. They're about connection. He's not trying to control your body. He's trying to speak to it. Quietly, softly, respectfully. When you're talking, he might gently squeeze your hand or place his palm on your knee, like he's grounding you without words. When you're anxious, he'll rub slow circles on your back or cradle your face with both hands just to center you. It's not performative. It's not strategic. It's simply that you've become a comfort to him. And his body reaches for you the way hearts reach for home. Even in silence, he'll find little ways to let you know he's there. A brush of his arm as he passes by. A quick kiss on your forehead when he thinks you're not paying attention, or pulling you into a hug when nothing else needs to be said. These touches are his way of saying, I see you. I choose you. I need to be near you. And what makes it powerful is how natural it feels. You don't have to ask for affection. He gives it freely. Not because he wants something from you, but because being close to you brings him peace. It's how he says, I love you, without saying a word. Through every gentle touch that makes your world feel safer, softer, and more whole. 5. He prioritizes your happiness over his comfort. When a man loves you deeply, he quietly begins to place your happiness above his own comfort. Not because he's trying to impress you, but because it genuinely matters to him that you feel at peace. It shows in the small, daily choices he makes. He might skip something he was looking forward to just to be with you when you're having a hard day. He'll give up his last bite of food because he knows you like it. He'll wait a little longer, stay a little later, bend a little more, not out of obligation, but out of love. This kind of love doesn't scream or demand attention. It sacrifices without complaint. It watches you smile and silently feels satisfied just seeing you light up. If you're cold, he'll take off his jacket without hesitation, even if it leaves him shivering. If you're tired, he'll quietly do your chores, cancel his plans, or simply hold space for you, even when he's drained. It's not about being a martyr. It's about putting your joy first, because your smile matters to him more than his temporary ease. You'll see it in the way he adjusts to your schedule, your needs, your dreams. He'll offer support even when it means stepping out of his comfort zone. If you're chasing a goal that scares him a little, he'll still cheer you on. If you need space, he'll give it, even if he wants to be close, because true love respects, and true love gives. This kind of man doesn't keep score. He doesn't expect you to notice every time he puts you first. He does it because loving you has become part of who he is. Your happiness becomes his reward. And even if it costs him comfort, it never feels like a loss, because your peace, your joy, your warmth is what he now calls home. 6. He notices when your mood shifts. When a man is truly in tune with you, he notices things others miss, especially your mood shifts. He doesn't need a meltdown, a raised voice, or even words. He can sense the quiet change in your energy, the way your voice softens just slightly, the way your eyes linger a little longer or avoid his completely. He picks up on the silence between your words, the pause in your laughter, the weight behind your smile. He knows when something's off, even if you say, "I'm fine." And instead of ignoring it or brushing it aside, he leans in, gently. He won't push you to talk, but he'll make space for you to feel safe. He might say, "You okay?" Not as a routine check-in, but because he genuinely wants to hold whatever's weighing on you. If you need to be alone, he'll respect that. If you need to talk, he'll listen. And sometimes he won't say anything at all. He'll just be there, making sure you don't feel alone in what you're carrying. He might do something small to comfort you, like make your favorite drink or change the music to something soft. He won't always get it perfect, but he'll always try, because your emotional world matters to him, even when it's messy or hard to explain. He doesn't wait for breakdowns to show up. He shows up at the first sign that something inside you has shifted. That awareness, that sensitivity, is love in its most unspoken form. It means he's paying attention. It means your emotions aren't a burden. They're a part of you he's choosing to understand. And the beauty of it is, you never have to shout to be heard, because with him, even your silence is seen. 7. He supports your goals and dreams. When a man truly loves you, your goals become important to him. Not because he wants to control them, but because he genuinely wants to see you thrive. He supports your dreams in the background, in the quiet ways that sometimes matter more than loud encouragement. He asks about your ideas, remembers your plans, and checks in on your progress, even when you haven't brought it up. His belief in you doesn't waver when things get tough. In fact, it grows stronger, because he sees your potential even when you don't. He doesn't mock your ambition or minimize your efforts. Instead, he stands beside you, even when your dreams don't directly benefit him. He'll sit through your brainstorms, help you rehearse, or offer to drive you to that early morning meeting. He reminds you of your strength on the days you feel like quitting. And even when he doesn't fully understand your path, he still respects it, because he respects you. You'll notice it in how he talks about you to others. He speaks with pride. He shares your wins like they're his own. And when setbacks happen, he doesn't say, "I told you so." He says, "I still believe in you." He gives you room to grow. He doesn't feel threatened by your success. He celebrates it. He doesn't ask you to shrink to make him feel bigger. Instead, he stretches with you, emotionally, mentally, sometimes even financially, just so your light has space to shine. His love shows up when he puts aside his ego to clap for your rise. That's real support. When a man supports your goals and dreams, it's not about pushing you. It's about holding you steady while you rise. It's about whispering, "Keep going," when the world gets too loud. And when you finally reach that goal, you'll look beside you and see the one who believed in you from the very start. 8. He makes time for you, no matter how busy. When a man truly loves you, no schedule is too full, no day too packed. He makes time for you, even in the smallest windows, not because he has nothing better to do, but because you are what matters most. You don't have to beg for his attention, chase his calls, or constantly remind him you exist. He remembers on his own. He checks in. He shows up, even if it's just for 5 minutes between meetings or a tired call after a long shift. Time with you isn't something he tries to fit in. It's something he quietly prioritizes. And it's not just about hours or long dates. It's in the details. A quick message to ask how your day's going. A video call during a lunch break. An early morning coffee run just to see you smile. It's staying on the phone when you're upset, even if he's exhausted. It's postponing a night out just to sit beside you when you're anxious. He doesn't need a special occasion to make space for you. Your presence is reason enough. Even when life is chaotic, deadlines, stress, commitments, he finds ways to include you. He lets you in. You'll notice that you're not just part of his free time. You're part of his real life. You're woven into his routine, not an afterthought. And when something big comes up, a trip, a family event, a tough decision, he doesn't make it alone. He brings it to you because he wants you to be part of his world, not waiting outside of it. When a man truly cares, he doesn't just give you what's left over. He gives you the best of what he has, even if it's limited, because he knows that time is love in motion, and he'd rather be tired next to you than rested without you. 9. He stares at you when you're not looking. There's something unmistakably tender about the way a man looks at the woman he loves, especially when she doesn't know he's watching. He stares at you when you're not looking, not out of habit, but because in that quiet moment, he sees something he doesn't always have words for. It's admiration, softness, wonder. Maybe you're reading, laughing with someone, tying your hair, or just sitting silently, and he finds himself lost in you. You're not performing. You're not posing. And yet to him, you've never looked more beautiful. He studies your face like it's a language he wants to learn fluently. The curve of your smile, the way your eyes shift when you're deep in thought, the little movements you make when you're focused or daydreaming. In those moments, he's not thinking about his phone or what's next. He's completely still, because seeing you in your natural state does something to him. It reminds him why he fell, why he stays. It's in those stolen glances that the depth of his feelings is clearest. When you catch him and ask, "What?" and he just smiles and shakes his head, like the words would never do justice. Sometimes he'll say, "Nothing," but what he really means is, "I'm just grateful you're mine." And even when he's frustrated or tired, that gaze doesn't fade. It becomes softer, but it stays. Because love doesn't disappear when life gets messy. It just becomes quieter, more intentional. That silent stare is his way of saying, "I see you, all of you, and I love what I see." It's the kind of look that holds memory, desire, safety, and devotion all at once. And it's never loud or flashy, just steady, just real. The kind of gaze you don't always notice until one day you realize he's been looking at you like that all along. 10. He sacrifices his own needs for yours. When a man truly loves you, there are moments when he quietly places your needs above his own. Not to impress you, not to gain something, but because your well-being means more to him than his own comfort. These sacrifices aren't always dramatic or obvious. In fact, they're often so gentle, so woven into the rhythm of everyday life, that you might not even notice them at first. But they're there. They're real. And they speak volumes. He'll cancel plans he was looking forward to just because you're having a rough day and need company. He'll spend his last bit of energy helping you through something, even if he's drained. He'll skip his favorite show so you can talk about what's been weighing on your heart. And when resources are tight, time, money, energy, he'll stretch what he has so you don't feel the lack. It's not that he forgets himself, it's that love makes him want to give without measuring. These sacrifices might look small to others, but they're huge in the language of love. Giving up sleep so he can walk you home safely. Spending money on something you needed instead of something he wanted. Driving hours just to be there for a moment that mattered to you. Supporting your dream even when it means less time together. He might never talk about these choices. He won't announce them, but you'll feel them, in your peace, in your safety. In the quiet way his actions whisper, "You matter more." True love doesn't count favors. It doesn't keep score. When a man loves you deeply, his willingness to sacrifice isn't a burden. It's an honor, because your joy becomes his reward. Your relief becomes his calm. And knowing he helped ease your world, even a little, becomes more fulfilling than meeting his own wants. That's not weakness. That's strength. That's love. The kind that bends so you don't break. 11. He gets nervous when you're hurt. When you're hurting and he truly loves you, something shifts inside him. Even if he doesn't know how to fix it, he gets nervous. Not because he's scared of you, but because your pain shakes something in him. He might fumble with his words, pace around the room, or sit silently with his jaw clenched. You'll see it in his eyes. That flicker of panic, like his heart doesn't know how to beat right when yours is breaking. He'll ask if you're okay, not just once, but over and over, like the answer might change if he keeps asking. And even when you say you're fine, he can feel that you're not. He'll check your face for signs, try to read between your silences, offer comfort in the ways he knows how. A hand on your back, a warm drink, a quiet presence. He might not always have the perfect words, but his energy speaks for him. He's unsettled because the person he loves is in pain, and that pain spills over into him. You might see him become a little clumsy, distracted, even overly attentive. He'll search for what he can do, say, or fix. But more than anything, he just wants you to feel okay again, because your hurt doesn't sit on the outside of his life. It lives in him too, whether you notice or not. That nervousness is love. It's the deep ache of someone who wishes they could carry your pain for you. When a man gets nervous seeing you hurt, it means your emotions matter to him more than his own comfort. Your sadness unsettles his balance. And that's not because he's weak. It's because his heart has grown attached to yours. When you break, he bends. And when you cry, he listens not just with his ears, but with everything he is. 12. He shares his food without being asked. When a man loves you, even something as simple as sharing his food becomes an unspoken act of affection. It might seem small on the surface, but it reveals a lot. Most people are protective of their plate, their favourite snacks, their last bite, especially if it's something they rarely indulge in. But when he offers you that last piece without hesitation, when he slides his plate closer or says, "Here, try this," without being asked, it's more than kindness. It's emotional closeness. He's not offering out of politeness. He's offering because he wants you to experience the same comfort or joy he's feeling. Whether it's a slice of pizza, a spoonful of dessert, or the best part of the meal, it becomes his instinct to include you. He wants you to taste what he's enjoying, to be part of that moment, to share something ordinary in a way that feels intimate. And it doesn't stop at meals. He remembers your cravings. He picks up your favorite snack at the store without you reminding him. He hands you the bigger portion without comment. He takes your half-eaten fries and offers his full basket. These moments feel casual, but they're deeply rooted in emotional connection. Because when someone lets you into their comfort zone, their food, their space, their quiet moments, they're letting you into their heart. He doesn't need to be dramatic about it. It's not about grand gestures. It's the easy way he puts your comfort above his appetite, the way he makes sure you're full, satisfied, included. Love doesn't always need words. Sometimes it's served in bite-sized pieces, warm, shared, and quietly sincere. And in every small offering, what he's really saying is, what's mine is yours. 13. He includes you in his future plans. When a man truly loves you, he doesn't just think about the present. He quietly begins to shape his future with you in mind. It doesn't always come as a dramatic speech or a proposal. Sometimes it's in the way he says, "Next time we come here," or "when we get that place," or "you'll love it when we go." His words shift from me to us, and he doesn't even realize he's doing it. Because in his heart, your presence in his life is already permanent. You'll hear it in small things. He'll ask about your opinion on cities he's thinking of moving to, job opportunities, or long-term plans. Not because he has to, but because your thoughts matter to him. Your comfort matters. Your dreams have started blending into his, whether it's talking about future holidays, saving up for something important, or imagining what kind of place you two could build together. It's all a quiet way of saying, I see you beside me, even years from now. It might be as simple as planning a trip 6 months ahead, inviting you to a family event that's weeks away, or including you when he talks about buying a house or switching careers. He brings you into the conversation like you belong there, not like a guest, but like a partner. And if something big is coming up, like a move or a major decision, he doesn't just inform you after the fact. He involves you. He wants you to walk through it with him. When a man includes you in his future, it means you're not just part of his life today. You've become part of his vision for tomorrow. And love, when it's real, always looks ahead. Not because it's chasing certainty, but because it finally found someone worth building around. 14. He respects your boundaries. When a man truly loves you, one of the clearest signs is how he handles your boundaries. Not just the ones you say out loud, but even the ones you struggle to express. He doesn't try to push, guilt, or manipulate. Instead, he listens, honors your comfort zones, and adapts. Whether it's physical space, emotional limits, or the pace at which your relationship moves, he treats your boundaries as something sacred, because he understands that real love doesn't demand, it respects. If you say you're not ready to talk about something, he doesn't pressure you. If you ask for space, he gives it. Even when it's hard. He doesn't take your no as rejection. He takes it as clarity, and instead of making you feel bad for protecting your energy, he admires it, because to him, your autonomy isn't a threat, it's a strength. And he loves you more for having it. You'll notice he watches your signals. If you're tired, he doesn't beg for attention. If you're overwhelmed, he becomes a calm presence instead of another source of stress. He learns how you cope, what makes you feel safe, and he chooses to protect that. He asks permission. He listens carefully. And when you draw a line, he doesn't cross it just to test how much you'll tolerate. He stays on the right side of it, not because he's afraid, but because he respects your dignity. This kind of love doesn't feel heavy. It feels freeing, because you know you don't have to explain yourself over and over. You're allowed to just be, with all your needs, your fears, your timing. And the more he respects your boundaries, the more you trust him with your heart. That's the kind of love that lasts. The kind built not on pressure, but on patience. Not on possession, but on mutual respect.
15. He shows up, especially when it matters most. When a man loves you, he doesn't just show up when it's easy or convenient. He shows up when it matters most. Not for attention, not to be praised, but because he knows that being present during your hardest moments means more than 1,000 words. He's there when you're sick, when your world feels heavy, when you're tired of being strong. He doesn't run from discomfort. He steps into it with you. Quietly, steadily, like someone who's made a silent promise to stand beside you, even when the ground is shaky. You don't have to beg. You don't have to remind him. When life falls apart, whether it's a family emergency, a tough loss, or a day when everything feels wrong, he's there. Even if he has to rearrange his plans, drive through the night, or sit with you in total silence, he shows up. Not to fix everything, but to make sure you don't go through it alone. His presence says, "You matter more than anything else right now." You'll see it in the way he doesn't disappear when emotions are high. He doesn't avoid your pain. He doesn't wait for things to be easy again. He steps closer when the world gets loud. He holds your hand when you can't hold yourself together. He stands in your corner, not just as a partner, but as someone who understands that love isn't tested in comfort. It's tested in chaos. And even if he doesn't have the right words, even if he's unsure of what to do, he'll be there, fully, Because love, real love, is measured by presence. It's not about being perfect, it's about being there. When you look back at your life's hardest chapters and you remember who stood beside you when it really counted, you'll remember him. Not because he saved you, but because he never left.